Should I do and create a to-do list or not? Stay tuned.
Taking one more breath beside you, so I could find strength to divide us.
Welcome to my channel, you guys. My name is Penton, founder of Planner Perfect, and I coach women how to write a better story for their lives. And in today's video, I'm going to go over a topic that I'm going to revisit again and again. I know I've done several videos on it, but we're going to be talking about whether or not, a to-do list is something that you should do, you shouldn't do, should you incorporate in the method, all of that. Now, if you're new to me, I'm going to explain to you briefly my views on the to-do list. And that is that a to-do list should not be something that you solely thrive upon. Okay, so that's always been my mantra, and a lot of times it can get lost in translation, and I'm here to bring some clarity on the subject. So let's dive in. Be sure to subscribe and like and share so that my message can get sent out to others who might need to hear it. Okay, so the to-do list. Now, I'm a mom of 8, and I have been using this method really basically all of my life, and I've never really adhered to any kind of to-do list. I've always just scripted out my life in advance as though it had already happened, and had covered every nook and cranny of my life with intention of how I wanted to live, live with intention, investing in people, serving people, filling myself up, getting my head straight, getting all of these things within my life were being accounted for, okay? And so that's what I coach, is that you need to make sure that your life as a whole is being accounted for. You first must know what you want, and to-do listers only usually don't know as a whole what they want. They just know what they need to do. So when you approach it in that regard, when you're living off of just a to-do list, so let's say you've got a calendar set up where you've just got bullet points to be able to write down today's tasks, you're virtually living out your whole life for the day, and then consecutively. There is so much to take into consideration that if you only live by to-do list, you'll easily get drowned and swallowed up whole by the day and others. And the reason being is because you don't know what you want. And that's really what it boils down to, is that you don't know what you want as a whole for your life. You don't have an aim or a direction. Once you know what you want, to be able to script it and to be able to be intentional about every aspect of your day helps not only bring clarity and also relief, because you have now been able to break down certain elements of your life across a span of time, rather than trying to go off of let's say a running to-do list, something that just scrolls out, goes on for miles. You are more living on to, when I go and project, it's not what do I got to do, it's how do I want to live tomorrow, and what can I do to serve the ones I love, fuel me and spiritually grow. What kind of foods can I create and make to make the home and my children feel warm and cozy? How can I make a cozy atmosphere for my home and keep it orderly and clean? And then what can I do to move toward my goals, today, or let's say tomorrow, that would move me one page closer to my goals and my dreams. So it's more of a looking at things that way. And when you're able to do that, it's almost like every day is a mission statement. So you know what to say at any given point in time. If someone were to call you up, text you or whatever to ask things of you or want to do things, you'll know what to say based on your mission statement for that day, where you're headed, where you're going, if you can finagle it, if you can move it around. But you're going to know that if it doesn't align with where you're going or what you're doing, let's say even maybe they want you to make a commitment to something, if you weren't already understanding your story and where you're going within that story, you probably would just commit to something that you really wish you didn't in the first place. Being intentional and knowing who you are and where you're going in your life helps eliminate those commitments we make haphazardly because we really aren't on stable ground. So I coach women to get more onto stable ground, to consider their whole life as a whole, what their morning's going to look like, what time they should rise that gives them a foot on the table. What time and what kind of, coffee, how do you want your body to look and feel, and what do you want to dress? How do you want to dress and present to the world? You want to always present your best to, even if it's just your kids. You want to dress your best and look your best. And does that mean you're wearing designer clothes with heels while you're scrubbing dishes? Nope. It just means that you took some time to care about yourself. And when you do that, that makes a statement of your inward conversations. And so you want to, not to mention, you're ready for the mailman, you're ready for anyone who comes to the door. You're not like, hey, telling the kids to go get it, tell them I'm not here. You just are ready for the day. And a to-do list is going to hurt you in the long run if you're solely living by a to-do list. Does it mean you can't have a to-do list within the method, the scripting method that I've created? Of course you can. Put it off to the side, put it over on you get a 2-page layout, put it over in the corner, put it, over wherever the space you need. But that is just a part of the whole entity of your whole day. So your whole day is scripted, and those things are pulled and scripted on when within your day you plan on achieving them. Because if I were to just have like certain to-do lists and then I'm going to go live my day, number one, I'm going to procrastinate because kids and everything's going to pull me around, and I'll just get pulled because I'm not on solid ground. I just know that I've got something I got to do, and it's nagging at me. Okay. And it's going to take willpower. Whereas if you incorporate your to-do list into the whole of who you are, now you're taking, when you go through that much detail of your life, of everything of how you want to live, be, do, see, dress, present, then that in itself impresses the subconscious mind so that you're literally walking that out just effortlessly and your life flows. It also enables you to then be plugged into the now. So you're invested in your children into the now. Your mind isn't somewhere else. Your mind is in the now. Your mind is investing into your children and to the people who love you and need you. When you're moving on to the next part of the day, you're invested into that now. You're invested into serving maybe your business or other things that you're doing. Then you're plugged into your dinner and your family and the cleaning up and the folding of clothes and the baking of bread. And you are in the now, which is where your source, where your source of supply is, God. And when you're in the now and you're plugged into Him, He will sustain you and your day will flow divinely because of the fact that you are not scattered in your mind, thinking past or forward. And I'm going to be talking about mind diet in another video, which is also vital. But you're very much so sticking with the plans and intentions you've made. And that is and because you've gone out as far as you can within the week and you have spaced yourself within the whole week, you're not thinking of laundry you have to do or a garage cleanup you need to do when you're playing Monopoly with your child, not even being present, because you already have that down on another day. So you can now just be at ease. You've taken the time ahead of time to lay down intentions for what you want for your days every day of the week. And you will be surprised on all that you will accomplish, to do and succeed at, and it doesn't involve checking something off for satisfaction. Your life will be a satisfaction, not the mere fact that you cleaned a toilet and you're able to check it like that's worth something in and of itself. It's that you have incorporated a beautiful life in what seemingly could be considered mundane. You've stepped it up to such intention that it's beautiful. Every pen that scripts and lays out the day of the woman who knows where she's going and serves her family and rises early before them and fills herself up with words of God's promise and is ready for the day and embarks upon it and takes her through the whole day, through to the evening, tucking children in bed, knowing that her day wasn't a checkoff list. It was a full day of intention where she cared for not only herself and her family, but others that she served outside of her own personal world. When you're able to understand the importance of intention of your whole life, and to know what you want, to write that out, and to script it in detail as such that the mind is impressed and it feels like it's already happened, that it's game on, because your mind now and your heart are like totally connected. It's like your mind wants something and your heart does too. It's really difficult. The reason why willpower always has to kick in is because there's a disconnect between what your head wants and what your heart wants. And sometimes you got to persevere through some things to create new habits. But for the most part, things can be truly effortless when you are really scripting your days in a way that fills your heart and you can feel the beauty of the day and the joy of the day and what you're doing with so much purpose and so much joy that your heart and mind can't help but be united. And with that kind of uniting, everything flows. Not to mention then you're connected to God's source of power when you stay connected in the present and you allow Him to carry your plans. Game over. You will never see your life so transformed as this simple yet will take devotion to know what you want and to script out your life in all of its beauty and splendor from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed to as far out in your week as you can. I hope that has cleared some things up, that a to-do list is absolutely can be very essential as long as it's not all you're going off of, and how the dangers of falling into the trap of living off of just a to-do list can really prevent you from being all that you were created to be, because you're leaving out such a huge aspect of your life. And your life could be a lot easier with the heart-mind connection that relies so much on willpower. So that is the to-do list, the planner perfect way. And I really hope that this has inspired you to love your life. Until next time.